Hello, Fearless Gamers, and welcome to another podcast here on Fearless Games. I'm Matt the Vet, and today I'm joined by...
the Starlork.
Yeah.
Cut you off.
Yeah, no, it's good, because I'm James the Wildcard, and I bring up the rear.
There we go. You usually wait to the very end and, give us awkward pause, so I figured I'd avoid that.
No.
And so, we are back. Welcome back, everybody.
Hi.
James, you missed out on presents.
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
You don't want presents?
You know, it's whatevs.
But what if they were mantas?
Yeah.
Now the Starlork has two of them because you weren't there to claim one.
That's okay.
That would be an odd present. Mantas are either A, very oversized models that are cool, or kind of cool fish things.
I was talking about the fish things.
Oh, the fish things
They're
are cool.
sharks.
They are sharks. Sharks are fish.
Hey, but they're sharks. Come on.
They are. They're in the shark family.
I mean, one sounds
I didn't know
infinitely
that.
cooler than just fish. Alright, so...
Yeah, no, you got a point.
I did not know that.
Yeah, no, rays and mantas, or all those guys are all in the shark family. They're all cartilaginous fish.
They're sharks that got smushed.
Someone sat on them.
Yes. It's true. The whale shark sat on them. You all know how that happens.
Yeah, whale sharks are kind of jerks.
These are big.
They're the opposite of jerks. They're just big and fat, though.
Yeah, jerks.
According to Elena, they're the best.
They're big.
Oh.
And you get to swim with them if you find one, but good luck finding one.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got something here to talk about. It's a little bit of a ranty rant.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Go to rant
you guys
alert.
probably already know about it because you got my text message.
And
but
it's not nerfing, it's just changing. There's a difference.
What text message?
It was...
I actually don't know what you're talking about. Bring it on.
Well, what happened was the Imperial Armour Apocalypse book came out, and the Forge World kinda, gave a really big hit to the Eldar in a few ways. One of them, now with the Wraith Seer, people are screaming about that his psychic powers got nerfed because he's now only gets Feel No Pain on a 5+, which isn't that normal?
Yeah,
Feel No
standard
Pain on
Feel
5?
No Pain.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, they just got the normal Feel No Pain. I don't see the problem there.
If everyone gets nerfed, it's not really a nerf.
The other thing this part's a little weird. A power that he has that should be a malediction is a Witchfire, which is a little weird. It's his negate 3 to your leadership that's normally a malediction category ability, and they decided to make it a Witchfire.
That is fine.
Yeah, I mean, it just means a different way of him trying to conjure up that ability.
Well, he has to actually shoot to hit you.
Yeah, he's basically doing, instead of it just, he's got to focus it. It's representing focusing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's weird because it's like if it was a focused Witchfire, that would make more sense.
Oh,
but it's just a Witchfire.
It can just be a Witchfire. I don't mean focusing it as in like that. I mean if you're getting all fluffy about it, instead of just having neg 3 or whatever, he's got to blast you with neg 3 bead.
Also, just in general, it's good that they kind of mix up how they put together how things are casted, because I'm sure there's already a malediction that does something similar, so now at least you have a different way of doing it, right?
Yeah, well, at that point, I think the Eldar do have one, so I don't get why they just didn't give him that power.
Because a lot of them different. Yeah, different.
It's the same thinking thing.
Listen, the Eldar aren't nerfed. You're just getting a little butthurt because you're a super Eldar-y, okay?
No.
Yeah, no, I think James might be right.
The one thing that I'm probably the most upset about is he no longer has a D cannon, and what I'm more upset about with that is it's clearly a D cannon, not a Wraith cannon, so it's just going to irk me that it's a D cannon model representing a Wraith cannon. The only thing I don't get is why it's still 40 points, since a Wraith cannon's not as nasty as a D cannon.
It's just, it's bulk out points.
And then, the only thing I'm really not happy about is the Warp Hunter, primarily because it went from an anti-tank vehicle, which the Eldar only have 1, to an anti-infantry, which we already have 3.
Hey, but that's the Eldar way. The Eldar way is to take out infantry or tanks, to take out tanks with infantry.
It's true.
I mean, look at the fire dragons. I mean, and look at every other tank.
But it just seems weird. they had this really neat tank that was basically a baby Cobra, and now it's just a Super Falcon.
Well, yeah. I guess they wanted more Super Falcons. I mean,
and you think about it, though, as far as that goes, Dark Eldar are really where it's at for Eldari tanks that are anti-tank. So they probably didn't want it. They probably didn't were trying to further differentiate the two, aside from the fact that one's Gothic and one's Rainbow. So.
And the only other weird thing is the tank can't take the crystal targeting matrix for some odd reason.
Yeah, those are going to have those weird things where they can't take certain things, and
it's like, so the Eldar literally sat there and went, no, we can't do it. And the Bone Singer's like, there's that flat piece on top. I could just, no, you clearly can't put it on that thing. It's clearly an impossibility.
Well, think about it this way.
Like, no.
It's the same idea of the fact that the Vindicators for Space Marines can get siege shields, but no other tank can. It's like, nope, don't bolt that on there. No.
You can easily bolt it. It must be a power issue, clearly. You know, maybe the power grew.
It's just it's a giant shield.
No, I mean, like, the engine can't support that much extra weight. And for the crystal targeting matrix, it's the same.
It's the same Rhino. It's a Rhino chassis.
It's like, but, we can't put that on the Land Raider. We can't put that on the Rhino. It'll offend the Vindicator. Okay, we have to.
That was like the joke I put up with the Warp Hunter. The Eldar, like, we can't make it anti-tank. The prism cannon pilots will get upset.
It's true, they will.
It's true, and those guys whine on the message boards all the time. They're like, nerf everything else. Prism cannon's supposed to be end-all be-all.
That's because they went and had to do an extra 4 years of schooling just for the prism cannon. The other tank didn't need that. The other tank just needed an associate. Like, come on, really?
Yeah, no. And the other tank makes more money.
I will give Forge World one bit of credit. They had the decency to change the name of the weapon, so it's no longer a D cannon, it's a D full-up or something like that. That's the thing. They make it really small print so you can barely read it, but they did change its name, which is okay. I just hope that they don't have the nerve to write in its fluff that it has the ability to wipe out troops or rip tanks apart, and I'm like, but it can't. It needs a 5 to glance rhinos. Yeah. That's not ripping tanks apart.
It'll rip them apart with a 5.
It'll rip them apart if it rolls a 6.
No.
Because then it actually is a pen.
Well, the question is, how many shots does it have? Because if it's shooting like 20 times, it could conceivably.
Oh no, it has it has 3 shots at strength 7 AP 3.
That's pretty good.
Its only real way of taking out anything bigger than a Rhino is the distort rule, which is on a 6 you auto pass.
Well, also if it rolls a 4, it glances a Rhino.
No, Rhinos are now 11.
Yeah, it has strength 7.
Strength 7. Oh, I miscounted. I meant it has the pen on a 5.
Yeah, which, it'll rip them apart.
Yeah, no, that's a 50% chance of doing damage. So
yeah, but it's only AP 3, so it doesn't have the +1, which is where they usually throw in the. I'm just saying, like, usually when they say the vehicle has the ability to rip tanks apart, it usually has it has the AP 2, and that's where they're getting the it can rip tanks apart.
AP 1 thing. But what it does have is the ability to just rip apart Space Marine squads, because like, oh, you're never uncovered because you're Space Marines. Take that.
Yeah,
well,
and
Eldar, everything that we have rips apart Space Marines.
No, in fact, you can barely hurt them with most of your basic infantry. How many shots did your Dire Avengers do to my captain and nothing happened to him?
Well, that was the old rules.
That was still your...
The new rules, those 6s would have auto-wounded at AP 1.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Well, it's either AP 1 or AP 2, I forget which. No, I think the D cannon is AP 1 and the Blade Storm is AP 2.
Yeah, but and the point is, it's still that's like saying that Death Company can rip apart anything because they have the ability to rend. It's not. It's still they're slightly better. It's not. It doesn't make anything rip apart anymore. But that weapon is better than the autocannon when the autocannon is hugely popular. So
that's true. The autocannon's popular because it's cheap and you can get a lot of them usually.
But also it's popular because it can fire the autocannon can fire a decent distance, it's a decent enough strength, and it's really popular against orcs. What you have there is an orc killing weapon.
It's a good all-around heavy weapon, especially for guard, because it has enough shots that it's not, like, useless, but it's high enough power that it can kind of deal with everything.
It's a nice Marines love using them in mass as well. They're like, yeah, we'll kill everything with this.
Mm-hmm.
So, actually, random topic change here. I saw a new movie.
Uh-oh.
It's the new Justice League Flashpoint Paradox film.
I don't even know what that means, but okay.
You haven't heard of it?
No.
It's a new animated cartoon movie based off the graphic novel Flashpoint.
Didn't we talk about this last week, or did we talk about this not on the show?
We talked about it. I don't know if we mentioned it on the show or not. I think we did, but it was very briefly. Now I actually saw it.
Okay.
And it was actually pretty good, except there was one problem.
Mm-hmm.
There's one of those, realization moments in the film, and they already tell you what that realization is on the back of the box.
Nah.
And you're sitting there going, you know this, right? You know this, right? And then near the end you're like, wait, you didn't know this the whole time? Because you clearly made it like this was a big point on the box. And Nathan Fillion again as Hal Jordan was awesome. The voice cast was actually really good for all this, and the Flash villains that premiere are actually pretty cool. And we were correct. It was Captain Cold and Captain Boomerang were their names.
Yeah. Captain Cold is a scary guy.
What?
Captain Cold is a scary guy. Just saying.
There was an interesting video and extra where they were talking about how they don't want to kill the Flash, they just want to party and have fun, and they rob banks, so they don't need a job to do that. So they party, they hardy. When their money runs out, they go, time to rob a bank, and that's what they do.
It's an interesting outlook.
It's very interesting. And actually, we still have a floating question from James 2 weeks ago.
Uh-oh.
And that was what movie score really gets you going. Like, when you hear that, you're like, yeah, time to go and get stuff.
Well, what's your favorite?
Do something.
Really, it boils down to what do you enjoy the most of all the movie scores out there? And I got a follow-up, equally difficult question for that, so.
Okay. So, Starlork?
I don't know. I have no answers. Why would you think I have an answer on, like, a favorite anything? I'm always like, I like this, but I like this too, and, I'm just gonna go bite myself over for hours.
What can I expect from the man who likes Picard?
Look, Picard is awesome.
He's alright. He never punches a Borg like you said he did.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Yep. I watched every episode recently. He never punches a Borg.
It's when they abduct him.
Yep. He gets up out of his captain's chair, punches the guy, he goes down, then he gets transported.
No, he doesn't. I just saw the episode. He stands up, and then the Borg injects him, and he goes, and then they teleport him. He never punches the Borg in the face.
There is a time when he does punch a Borg in the face, because I watched
every episode.
Yeah. James and I saw this episode together. Furthermore, Picard is just a better captain and leader. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Are you guys sure that you're not confusing an episode with First Contact when he fights the Borg?
Yes. Very sure.
Because I swear to you, I saw every episode, and he never punches a Borg. He punches a bunch of people, but never a Borg.
Yeah, that's just part of being a captain. You have to punch a bunch of people.
You have to know how to punch good.
That's why you go to Starfleet, not to learn anything else.
I believe in total he punches one rebel dude who gets onto the ship, which matches the scenario you guys keep saying, where they teleport on the planet, they teleport onto the bridge, and he just gets up and sucker punches the guy. Well, he does that to one person. He sucker punched
/ cold punched a lot of people.
And then he punches a Klingon. And that was usually it. He didn't punch a whole lot of people. He doesn't have the fight record that Kirk has.
Well, he doesn't. He's also, bald. You can't have a long fight record when you're bald.
He also finds other ways to solve issues than just, fighting.
Because your head starts to sweat and you can't get absorbed, so you're just sweatier. So you can't do much when you're bald. Well,
that would make for better combat, because then no one can grab your head.
Yeah, but now he has all that sweat dripping down all over his face. So now
he's got eyebrows to keep it out of his eyes.
Yeah, but the eyebrows can barely keep up when you're getting intense, and you just have sweat from your brow dripping down. Now you got sweat from the top of the head and the forehead coming down in a waterfall effect over your eyebrows.
So now, getting back on topic,
did he actually solve anything? What was the question?
The question was, what's your favorite movie soundtrack that really gets your blood pumping?
I'm just gonna say all the Star Trek stuff now. All the Star Trek soundtracks. All of them combined.
Lame.
What? That's the
lame.
I love Star Trek.
Lame. Movie-wise, I'd have to say that there's 2 scores that I really like. The one that I thoroughly enjoy is the Star Wars theme.
Of course.
But the one that I really feel myself going like, I think this is a really, awesome soundtrack, is the main theme to The Last Starfighter.
Okay, I can agree with that. That's good stuff. Last Starfighter's a decent movie with a good soundtrack, I will admit that.
With one of the best villain death lines ever.
What, the "now we die," that bit?
The shields are down! Bridge is overtaken! What do we do? We die! The boom!
Yeah, that's a good movie for anyone who hasn't seen it. By good movie, I mean a classic, proper, cheesy sci-fi.
It's so good.
Yeah. They should, Disney should remake that.
They should, but it probably wouldn't be as good.
No, it wouldn't.
That would be like trying to remake Krull. You'll never get the awesomeness.
Yeah, but you know what?
Unless Liam Neeson is in it again.
Liam Neeson?
Yeah, he was in Krull.
Bro?
Sure. Hello?
What?
Hello?
What you
He
want?
cuts out a lot.
Cut out.
If I'm correct, he is in that movie.
Who?
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson is in Crow. Yes.
Yep. I just don't remember who.
He's one of one of the criminals.
Okay. But yeah, he's in that movie, which is another reason to watch it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's my answer to that question. And the Stark Lord just cheaped out going, I like everything.
Not that I like everything Star Trek. Like the Star Trek themes in general are all really good. Especially the movie ones.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll admit that. There was a video game for Krull?
You know what was a good soundtrack? Stargate. The Stargate movie?
Stargate had a pretty good one.
Yeah. That was a solid one. So there's our answers. What's your follow-up, James?
Video game theme.
Video game theme.
Now, it can be the overarching video games theme. If it's a fire game, it could be like, the theme to a particular fighter, like Guile's theme or Vega's theme, or they don't really have themes in Mortal Kombat too much, but you get my point.
Yeah.
Or it can just be like the theme from like Bumble or whatever it is. Like, as far as a video game, because video games, both classic stuff from like SNES days and whatnot up to now have had really good themes to them.
They have. Video game music is really underappreciated.
Ironically, like said, Krull, the movie had a theme song.
Yeah.
Had a video game.
Yeah. And also, like, not just console, but also PC. Like, it's because, StarCraft has an amazing soundtrack. Any decent game usually has a pretty good soundtrack to go with it.
It would have to be the opening theme to the second Zone of the Enders game. That is an awesome theme.
Oh,
okay. Sure.
It's got a very animaic sound to it, and it's just awesome.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Let's see.
You got any other ones?
Here's I'm gonna post a link in the description of the theme I'm talking about.
Yeah, we can take care of that. So that's good. See, there's a lot of good themes out there. I find a video game one harder than a movie one, personally.
Yeah, there's so many of them.
Like, you're always gonna leave one out and then it's like, oh, I forgot about that or whatever. When it comes to sheer epicness, the Hyperion Overture from StarCraft 2 is what I like.
Okay.
But when it comes to just like random quirky themes that I enjoy, the Vega theme and the Guile theme from Street Fighter are really good.
It's kind of hard to not love the Guile theme. It goes with everything.
It does go with everything. But
practically.
And the Vega theme, I just really enjoy because Vega's awesome.
Fair enough.
And
even though he was voiced by Vic Mignogna.
Vic Mignogna?
In the first Street Fighter movie, Vic Mignogna's first role was Vega in that movie, in the cartoon.
Well, I figured.
Yeah. But, you know, he's just a cool character. They both got cool themes. There's other stuff that, like, I just like a lot.
And he yodels when he wins.
Another good theme is from the intro to Chrono Cross.
Yeah.
That's a very
That is a good one.
That is a solid one.
So that is a good one.
It's tough because there's so many good ones out there.
Yeah.
The One-Winged Angel is also a really good song.
One-Winged Angel is
Final Fantasy VII.
good, but I think the soundtracks for 6 and 10 are better.
I didn't like 10 that much.
I love the intro to 10, the little piano piece. That's one of my favorite pieces of all time.
So you do have an answer.
Oh, for video game, yeah, but like you said, there's like hundreds of them that I am forgetting right now.
You know what it is, Starlork?
What?
You're afraid that one viewer's gonna dislike your favorite theme.
Oh,
yeah,
whatever.
And then
I know what you're like. I want to say every Star Trek film because if I tell everyone that I like the theme to Star Trek 3, everyone will hate me.
No one likes the theme to Star Trek 3.
What's wrong with Star Trek 3?
Star Trek 3 is the worst. Star Trek, no, I'm kidding. Star Trek 5 is the worst.
Christopher Lloyd's in it.
He is, and he's the best Klingon, except for Christopher Plummer.
And, I mean, if any argument, you know, probably Star Trek 4 is the worst.
No, 5 is the worst. The Final Frontier.
5, that's right, 5. I get 4 and 5 mixed up.
How can you get them mixed up? 4 has the whales, 5 has the rocks.
I forget which one does. And I forget, and surprisingly, I'm shocked that they got rid of the rock monster. I didn't think the effect was that bad looking.
It really wasn't, but I guess they got scared, budget was and they just ignored it.
And it was a lot better than trying to believe that the supreme ultimate being was destroyed by a Klingon bird of prey.
I don't know, those disruptors are pretty powerful.
Yeah, but it's a supreme being that needs a giant barrier around a planet in order to keep it out.
Maybe they disrupted his energy matrix?
It doesn't have an energy matrix, it's pure energy.
Therefore, it has an energy matrix. Its form was disrupted by the disruptors, because that's what disruptors do, they disrupt things.
Go read your books.
I know. 5 is just an movie.
It's fun to watch to go, wow, they thought this would work.
Yeah, no.
I still love Shatner's description of Kirk on the mountain. He's embracing that mountain. He needs to be with that mountain.
Well, Shatner was a little crazy back then. I think he was down a bit.
He's a little crazy now, still.
Yeah, but now he's just awesome old guy crazy.
Unless he's being rude to Star Trek fans, which he does a lot.
It happens.
And
then, again, that's why Picard is better, because, Patrick Stewart is mean to nobody.
Patrick Stewart was mean to me.
I doubt that.
He was. I went, hey, Patrick Stewart, how's it going? And he went, get away from me, you nerd. And he walked away.
I could believe that. You are kind of a nerd.
I am, but that means he has no right to say that to me. He hurt my feelings.
Uh-huh.
I was going to have him sign my X-Men DVD that I don't own.
Right. How can you not own X-Men on DVD?
They were all right. You know, they weren't like... I'm not a big fan of a film that's trying to hide the fact that it's just a Isn't Wolverine Awesome trilogy.
But, yeah, Wolverine is awesome, but the first movie's pretty solid.
The first one and the second one are not bad.
Well, yeah, we don't talk about the third movie. I know Matt's
Which
not
apparently
here. Like, I hate
Wolverine,
the third movie.
Apparently the Wolverine does take place after that.
Yes,
yeah.
The Wolverine takes place after the events of all the other X-Men movies.
Well,
yep,
takes
directly
events of X-Men 3.
Yeah, it's specifically after 3.
Yep.
Which is too bad, because 3 was terrible.
Yes.
Well, they did a good job cleaning up 3 in the Wolverine. It was an enjoyable movie.
Oh, I guess you saw it. Yeah. I intend on seeing it at some point. I just have no free time.
I heard good things. I heard that the fight between the Silver Samurai and Wolverine is epic.
I mean, you know, the movie, I enjoyed it. Here's the thing, though. I mean, it's a Wolverine movie. And while, you know, I don't hate Wolverine, he's not my most favorite X-Men character, and it's all, like, the Wolverine hype of stuff. They did a very good job, though, with the way they're going with Wolverine and the events that happened in X-Men 3 and how it still affects Wolverine today, or then.
Now, what was the... Now, just without revealing too much, was the girl in the trailer that we saw, the samurai chick, was she supposed to just basically be a reboot of Yuriko?
I don't really know Yuriko that well. You have to explain who that is.
Wolverine's girlfriend?
Well, like, what...
Well,
did you have any,
basically, Yuriko was... Yuriko, now, I could be wrong on a point of this because I'm only going off of the information I got from the cartoon, but her dad made Wolverine, implanted the adamantium skeleton into him, and they were lovers. But then after the experiment and he went crazy and escaped, she blamed her dad's death on him and now wants revenge on him. And she became Lady Deathstrike at that point.
Right. Now, she didn't have anything special. She just had...
She was first just a normal girl, but then later on I think she has the mutant power to make, like, energy projectile talons, and she gave herself, like, a pseudo... upgrade to herself to make her more compatible against Wolverine's attack.
When she goes for revenge and becomes Lady Deathstrike, she gets cybernetically enhanced and gets adamantium claws and some other mechanical bits.
And you're talking about in the movie. You're talking about the redheaded lady.
Yeah, with the samurai sword.
Oh yeah, no, she's not. Based on what your description, I'll say she's not that type of character.
And so she's not a reboot of the Yuriko from X-Men 2.
No.
Okay, because I was a little upset with that Yuriko.
Yeah, that was just Lady Deathstrike. I'm a tool to kill stuff. Pretty simple.
Yep, they kind of just ignored everything about Yuriko with her.
Yeah, no, that's not because she's not that person.
Yeah, she's Lady Deathstrike, different character at that point, I guess.
No, but she's not even like this character in the movie, nothing like that.
Yeah.
She doesn't represent either Deathstrike or Yuriko at all.
No.
Okay. But, and I hear, so I heard it was pretty decent, like, I hear it's really good. What would you recommend it to the Fearless out there?
I'd say this. If you saw Wolverine Origins, you owe it to yourself to see this, to kind of, like, make up for that.
Okay.
And
I didn't hate Wolverine Origins.
I didn't hate it, but I didn't hate the movie. I thought it was, as the movie goes, I got what I expected out of it.
Yeah.
But I feel this is a lot truer to Wolverine. A lot truer to the characters involved, if you will. So, whereas the end of Wolverine Origins, you went, that's not Deadpool. It's like...
let's not talk about Dude Deal.
I still wish that they went with the original idea with that.
Which was?
The original idea was, as most people are aware, that they usually throw in, little things at the end of the Wolverine movie. Apparently there was 3 different versions, but there was another 4th one that they told Ryan Reynolds that they were going to have, which was you're going to see the remains of the Deadpool thing, and Ryan Reynolds was going to come out and grab the head of the thing and go, what are you supposed to be? To represent that it wasn't actually Deadpool, but they just assumed it was Deadpool.
That would have been better.
And Ryan Reynolds apparently found out that they didn't use that video clip, and he's like, well, why didn't we do that? And the guy said, well, the producers felt that it wasn't necessary, and that apparently spawned Ryan Reynolds' goal of trying to get a Deadpool movie.
Well,
made.
Ryan Reynolds just needs to do a successful comic book movie already, because he's a pretty cool guy that likes a lot of characters and cares about them, but can't get a decent break for a decent movie.
He wasn't bad in Green Lantern.
He wasn't bad in Green Lantern.
It's actually a lot better than everybody says about it. It's not as horrible as people make it out to be.
He wasn't bad, but the plot was crap.
The plot wasn't bad. The plot was actually really good. It made
bad. Parallax.
It made Parallax actually plausibly better. He's a lot better in the movie than he is in the comic
books.
He's a
lot... people, it's easier to understand him from the movie than it is in the comic books. It's easier to understand and the ability, like, how they fight him. And the way what they do with Parallax was fine in the movie. The problem with the movie is this, and I was talking to...
you were talking to me about
talking to Matt about this in the past. It's that... You look
and I agree.
Compare this, the Green Lantern, to the most outlandish character Marvel has made a movie of, Thor. All right? Because literally out of this world.
Yes.
That's a lot more relatable because you don't have little insecty thing, red-skinned people. You don't have blatant, crazy alien xenomorphs that are lanterns. I mean, it's not based off the ring taken into somewhere. When you look at the Green Lantern, it's hard for the average moviegoer who enjoys watching these action movies, these comic book movies, because they do well.
Hello?
It's cheesy. And when you look at Green Lantern, it's kind of cheesy.
Guys,
for
you
outsiders.
cut out. Could you repeat that?
It's kind of cheesy for outsiders to watch the Green Lantern.
You cut out, unfortunately. Could you repeat that?
No, go away. The point is, it's cheesy for the outside people who aren't slightly, knowledgeable of Green Lantern to watch the Green Lantern movie because we all watch it, we accept the characters that they showed, but people are gonna go, giant bee wasp thing, really? It's like,
which is ironic that you say that because in all the reviews that I've read, pretty much all critics bash the film until he goes into outer space. They're like, once he gets into space, it's actually really good, but once he gets back to Earth, it totally drops out.
Well, yeah, but...
And they actually demanded more space time.
It's not the space time, it's the caricatures of the lanterns that average moviegoers will have had a problem with. I've overheard people talking when I saw Lantern, because I saw it with a pretty packed theater. A lot of people were just like, "What is this?" when they started talking to the other alien lanterns. Like,
I know one person I know refused to watch the film because in the trailer you see Hal Jordan make a chain gun.
Okay.
Oh, and that's
why is that a problem? Besides, does Hal Jordan not like guns?
Because Hal Jordan never made a machine gun before.
That's just
okay.
But also, the second part of that, as you just brought up, is the way the ring power works. People who don't understand the Green Lantern, when they saw him use the spring to bounce the wall back up, when he made the Hot Wheels track to guide the helicopter down, people thought that was really excessively cheesy and dumb. But that's the way the ring works.
It makes what you can think of, so...
Yeah.
Good luck.
They do explain it, but they don't explain it well. Like, Tamara Ray just has a quick, 2 lines about it, and then all of a sudden ring stuff happens.
Yeah, but explaining it, and like you said, it did not explain it particularly well, and then seeing Hot Wheels track...
And I think it's also the issue is before that point, he doesn't do anything that ridiculous. He does, a giant fist... He does the swords, he doesn't do anything outlandish until that scene.
Yeah, but
also... He doesn't have to do anything outlandish.
Aside from the sword, the giant fist is also kind of cartoony, and while, yes, it's a comic, we understand that, but some people just can't get past the idea of, what do you mean he has to create something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, what do you mean he made a track? What do you mean he has a chain gun out of nowhere and a spring and things like that? It's when you take that and combine it with the complete package of alien SWAT team, basically, it makes people a little bit gonna go, I'd rather just watch Batman or something like that.
I'd rather watch the same movie I saw 5 times.
Yeah, but I'd rather deal with Thor than this. At least Thor, they're human looking, stuff like that.
Well, Thor, I think the thing with Thor is they do establish that they're just super beings that people think are gods.
Yes, they spend more time in Thor explaining what's going on, but also Thor is done in a way that's it's directed, I'm looking for the right word here, to be more like an epic.
Well, yeah, but also...
traditional, it's a different style of movie.
And here's what happened as well. Thor was shot in the same light as every pretty much other Marvel film. Look at DC. When DC basically rebooted itself in movies, Batman was it. And Batman was super grisly realistic. And then they gave you Green Lantern, very comic booky. Mm-hmm. And out of the same, in advertising, it's known that he's from the same universe as Batman. So, in that, you got a natural discord. Because, okay, why. It would be like if they shot Thor super gritty realistic. It'd be like, whoa, what's this about? In Marvel. But with Green Lantern, they didn't shoot it like they were shooting their DC movies.
Yeah.
And it just people kind of were naturally resistant to that, combined with the fact that the Green Lantern is a character that I will say is not, I won't say he's unknown, but he's not very well known outside of comic book pop culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big three that most people know is Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Marvel, it's like, yeah, maybe people don't really know too much about Thor, the comic character, but they know the concept of Thor in general, and he kind of fits that. Yeah, he fits that. I mean, boom, done, okay. And it's just people know Thor, the concept of Thor because of mythology. So, even if you don't know Thor from Marvel, he kind of fits the bill. And Spider-Man, easy enough, relatable. Green Lantern is not very relatable in that respect because he's actually pretty different from all the characters we've seen in movies thus far.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because I think that movie had potential. I enjoyed it. I think it,
like I said, it took one of the crummiest villains in terms of concept and actually made it a more plausible villain. Because when I saw that Parallax was going to be in the film, I was like, well then, where are they going to go from this? Like, every villain after this is going to seem very much not that important because he just beat the living embodiment of fear. And the fact that they changed it to just a dude who gets possessed by the power of fear made it more okay, so they can go somewhere after this.
Yeah.
Because that was a problem in the comic books. Like, after they decided Parallax was this fear entity and he could be defeated, I'm just sitting there going, so what? They can't beat a dude who's running around with mind powers, but the freaking embodiment of fear is totally easy to defeat.
Yep.
Like, that was one of the problems that fell flat with the comic books lately, and I felt that they turned him into a more plausible villain in the movie.
They did, and he's basically he was basically a re-CG'd Galactus from the Silver Surfer movie. And they did him
a better Galactus than the Silver Surfer.
Oh god, yeah.
So bad. Oh my god.
I'm still trying to get my head around when I watch the ending to that film, I'm like, wait. So you mean to tell me this being gave a dude enough, held his planet hostage, and then gave him the power to kill him, and said, don't use it on me. And this guy said, okay.
Well, yeah, no, makes perfect sense. But seriously, the Fantastic Four movies might have been the worst superhero movies I've ever seen.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I will still defend to this day that Doctor Doom was awesome in those movies.
There's nothing wrong with Doom and The Thing. Everything else is crap.
If those two actors came back to replay those parts, I would not be disappointed.
I would even be okay if Chris Evans came back to play Johnny Storm. Unfortunately,
he can't.
I know, because he's Captain America. I was getting to that. Those movies are just so...
One person I know was like, they should just do it anyway. Just make Captain America turn into the Human Torch and have him be both.
No.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea.
No, not just combo Human Torch and Captain America together. Captain America goes up into space with them.
That's terrible.
That's a horrible idea.
I know. It's horrible.
Yeah.
But that's what one of my friends thinks.
Your friend is a bad person, and he should feel bad.
You were saying, Starlork.
I was just saying that, the Fantastic Four movies were terrible. And it's not the actors in it, except for Jessica Alba. I really think she's a terrible actress.
Yeah, I don't get why. She was there just so they could have her take off her clothes and you see her bra.
Yeah, and that's pointless in my opinion. Really, just have a good actress next time. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just need to make a better movie sometime with the Fantastic Four.
I think with that, they picked Jessica Alba because I've seen a couple of the Ultimate Fantastic Four comics, and it seems like Sue Storm became less of a superheroine scientist into just a giant super sexy sex model for them to look good on the cover.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody cut out again.
At that point, pretty much, with that the Ultimate comic. But, say la vie. Maybe they'll make a good Fantastic Four movie eventually. Except I don't really like the Fantastic Four,
Marvel
so I
Studios,
care less.
from my understanding, now has the rights to it.
Well, good, because whoever had it before was like, we can't make a movie out of this. Sony? They're like, forget it, we'll keep Spider-Man, we don't want your other stuff.
And X-Men.
Sony had X-Men, so Fox had X-Men.
I thought it was Sony that owned X-Men, but
I don't remember.
I think it's Fox that owns X-Men.
But
Sony did a very good job with the revival of Spider-Man.
Yes, they did.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's worth it. It's a good movie.
Like it's
I hear nothing but good things.
They actually did a very good job with that, and Marvel's just take the Fantastic Four and archive them, because aside from Doom, who was a cool character that came out of that, I'm not a huge Fantastic Four guy. And I don't think a lot of people are either in this day and age. I think it's an older crowd thing.
Like I say, I just want Marvel to have the rights back, so in Avengers 3, Dr. Doom can be the villain. Because he makes a better Avengers villain.
Yeah.
Because that's a good group of people to throw at him.
The problem with the Fantastic Four, like I said, they're for an older crowd, is people, my same problem with Superman, people don't know how to write them. And I thought the best version of them I've seen in a long time was in 1602 by Neil Gaiman. If you have not read that and you're into comic books, check that out. And what it is they brought them back down to being explorers and being interesting and cool. Because once you get Reed Richards being the smartest guy in the world and not doing anything with it, he turns into a supervillain, frankly.
He's not
a
smartest guy in the
supervillain.
world, though. Reed Richards is just a pompous SOB.
Yeah.
I know.
Let's
the
be
smartest
honest,
people are Doom, and Tony Stark made himself the smartest with some mechanical add-ons.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's been proven because Dr. Doom has done the two things that Reed Richards still can't do. One, cure the Thing, which Reed Richards was mean enough to turn him back into the Thing.
Yep.
Because, no, I must cure him, not Doom. And invent time travel successfully.
He's still, as far as I know, the only person to invent time travel in the Marvel Universe, technically.
There's a couple of time-traveling characters, but either it's used through technology they stole or magic powers.
Yes, and also Doom is the only person that's combined magic and science on a consistent basis.
And successfully do so without it backfiring.
Yeah.
That's true.
And didn't the Squirrel Girl use his time machine?
Of course she did. She's Squirrel Girl. She's a comedic character. She can do what she wants.
Well, if I remember one of you guys saying once is like her boyfriend died, and so she ran to Dr. Doom, and Dr. Doom was like, "Oh great, you again?" And she went, "Hey Dr. Doom, can I borrow your time?" He's like, "Go, get out of here, just use it, and leave me alone."
In a previous comic, Squirrel Girl had defeated Dr. Doom with the power of too many squirrels.
Yes,
because comedic characters are allowed to do that.
Was it for every squirrel I defeat, two more come to hex me?
Something like that.
Yes. Yes. I actually did recently read Doom Quest with Iron Man. Iron Man and Dr. Doom, I forget the whole thing.
Team up and be an awesome buddy cop film, what?
Yeah, basically it's Dr. Doom and Tony Stark travel back in time to the Age of Camelot.
Okay.
And Dr. Doom joins Morgana Le Fay because she needs her super magic knowledge to teach him more fancy magic powers.
Well, yeah.
And Iron Man's like, I'm going to sit here and help King Arthur defeat Morgana Le Fay. And then they travel back into the future, back to their time, and then Merlin calls them into the future and says, "You two must work together to save our land." And then they have to work together.
Fair enough.
And then Dr. Doom figures out who Iron Man is, but can't take the knowledge back with him.
Sounds good.
It was actually a really good read. What was a little confusing, though, was the writers for it decided on all the comic book covers to write Stan Lee Presents, so I was under the impression Stan Lee wrote it.
Oh. You just made up the characters.
And I was like, wait, so I have a comic book Stan Lee did it? Oh, he did it. They just did that for fun. Now I have nothing for him to sign again.
Nope.
Yeah, that happens.
It does.
But now here's a question for you guys.
Uh-huh.
Everyone knows, who my favorite Marvel character is, but who are your favorite Marvel characters? And this goes out to the Fearless as well. What's your favorite Marvel character in the Marvel Universe?
Well, are we talking heroes or villains?
Anybody, any character, doesn't matter.
That's again. I read primarily Marvel, so I kind of like a lot of characters. But I can give you a list.
That's fine. What's your top 5?
Okay. Thanos, Silver Surfer, Daredevil, Starlord. That's 4 so far, right?
Yep.
And all the X-Men take up number 5.
That's fair because, in my opinion, like.
Now, was that in descending order?
No, that I have no order past. That's my top 5. And I'd like to put the rest of the Guardians in there, but I like the X-Men a little bit more. Even though Rocket Raccoon and Groot are awesome.
Which apparently the Guardians are getting a movie now.
And I'm stupidly excited. You guys don't realize how much I like the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Alright then.
So, James.
Well, if I'm gonna do a top 5, since that seems to be the theme, the only one that is in any order is the first guy, and that's Captain America.
You are Captain, which is cool.
He will always take the number 1 spot. After that, it fluctuates on an hourly basis, but
I hear you on that.
It would be Punisher, Doom. Let's see here. Iron Man / I put Iron Man and War Machine together because it's less the character.
They're pretty much the same thing.
I mean, they're very different, but they do a lot of the same stuff.
They're not. The pilots are very different, but the suits are very the same. And I'm more about the suit than the. I mean, Rhodes is awesome, Stark is awesome, but I don't. It could just be suits being automatons doing their thing, and I would read it. So it's just the suits, really. And then Carnage.
I forgot about Carnage.
I love Carnage.
Carnage is awesome.
Carnage is cool. It's always more of a Venom fan than a Carnage fan, but I understand. Carnage scares the crap out of me.
I love Carnage because he's scary. He's ridiculously OP, and he's not that just insane that doesn't understand what he can do. He's the insane that understands what he can do.
Yeah, he scares me because, like, you look at him like, this is not a Spider-Man level villain, but he's the only guy that can stop him. And it's like, that's not fair. He needs the Avengers to help him out, and they're not showing up.
No, they did. He had a lot of help in that Maximum Carnage series.
Yeah, he needed it. Like, Carnage is he's a scary, scary guy.
Like, I left Deadpool out, but he is there as well.
Deadpool's kind of crazy.
I like Deadpool.
Deadpool's a fun crazy.
Here's the reason I put Carnage on 5, and Deadpool will be the 6th one. Okay, like I said, he fluctuates with some of the other characters on an hourly basis. Carnage, Deadpool is haha crazy, slapstick. He's cool. He's also very capable, but he's that crazy that make people laugh.
Yeah.
Carnage is the exact mirror of that with like focus.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Like, he is that level of crazy, if not a bit higher. But instead of it being wacky, crazy, zany fun, he's focused, serial killer crazy, and he doesn't get off topic and off tangent.
Nope. He just says, I'm going to kill everybody, and then he kills everybody.
Probably the most focused I've ever seen Deadpool was in Doom Wars.
One of Deadpool's best moments of pretending to not be focused was in the Secret Invasion. That was great. He infiltrated like the Skrull, like Mothership or whatever, and complained that they should be using his powers to make their Super Skrulls. And eventually they go along with it, so they make a bunch of Deadpool-esque Skrulls that then all kill each other and go completely insane. And it's great. And Deadpool did it completely on purpose, and it was fantastic.
Well, that's pretty neat.
I'm like paraphrasing it heavily, but it's a great read.
Like, Deadpool's pretty cool like that. And the thing is, like, Deadpool has the whole fourth wall thing, and Carnage traded the fourth wall thing away for more psychopathic, like, intellect and killer capability. And you're like, you know what? I'll trade this power in for more kill you, and that's what he got.
He like turns himself into like pointy, stabby things all the time. He's horrifying.
He does that. He absorbed. The way he is now, I forget exactly where he's at now because he was ripped in half and thrown into space, but he came back.
They always come back.
And he has the ability to. I don't know if he still has it, but he had the ability to sprout wings because he absorbed like biomechanical wings. and he could sprout those. And it's just that he's weird because the thing is that him and, what is it, Cletus?
Yes.
Are
like
so entwined together that's why he can take forms that are crazy. Like, they are
and
one.
he refers to himself as I.
Yeah, a lot of times he does. And it's scary because he's a symbiote and a dude, and it's an eye. And and what's scary also is that because he's a spawn of Venom, he is more immune to what Venom is really weak to. But I think it's fire. I forget if it's
fire and ultrasound.
Yeah, but Carnage is almost immune to one. Not immune, but very heavily resistant to one, but more susceptible to the other. But he's crazy enough where he doesn't care. I think he's more susceptible to fire.
No, I thought it was sound that he was more susceptible to.
I have no idea.
Every time I seen it, when I was reading a Venom, I don't know where the issue went, but it was Venom vs. Carnage, and the reason Carnage lost is because he basically got set on fire.
So I could be wrong.
I don't know. It could be.
Yeah, no, I don't know either. Like
And it's hard to tell because he can fight through that. But Venom really can't that well. But Carnage can fight through the psionic pulsing and give him, like, not psionic, the supersonic pulses / flamethrower. He can still go on a killing rampage while being hit with that. Because he's that crazy, he don't care.
Excuse me. Apparently I got sleepy there.
Yeah, he's that crazy where he doesn't care about the fact that you're using his weakness against him. It still will eventually bring him down, but he'll kill 42 more people before that happens.
Yep, because that's his real goal.
Also, we are going to have to wrap this up because we have been going pretty long on these podcasts lately.
Okay.
And it's been troublesome with getting them on the YouTubes.
Okay.
But before we leave, I just want to say that if any of you guys listening to this have a chance, check out our Facebook page. There's a link in the description. Our local press ganger wrote a very masterfully done comment going off of our most recent Touching Base episode. It's really great, and it's a very good opinion comment without being defensive. So if you want to hear another side of the argument, I recommend reading this comment that we got on the Facebook page for it. So check out the link in the description for that. If you dare. And also, give us what's your favorite Marvel character. If you have more than a couple, then what's your top 5? And leave that in the comments below. And that, I think, is going to be all for tonight. Thank you guys for joining us. And until next time, Fearless Gamers, this is Matt the Vet.
And that's everybody. No.
Yep. There's no one else here.
And James the Wildcard.
And the Starlork.
Saying take care.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.